Welcome to the show Entrepreneurs. I'm Nayab Guldaud. Today we have an entrepreneur who's not only running a successful enterprise but is also one of the first racer in Pakistan. And without wasting any time, let's move on the show and welcome the guest. Sayyid Ovais Naqvi, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nayab.
So first of all, मैं आपसे एक बड़ा stereotypical, बड़ा dumb सा सवाल पूछूंगा. Give me a visual about myself essay.
About yourself?
Yeah. How did you come up to this and आपने start कैसे लिया and was it always this or it was something else?
No, professionally I've studied medicine, so it's kind of poles apart.
I don't get one thing. I'm just interrupting you on that one. लोग shift बहुत ज़्यादा कर जाते हैं.
No, yeah, this is a shift, but obviously not a complete or permanent sort of shift. It's something which is in addition to the medicine.
More like an augmented service.
Yes, you could say that. But it started off as a hobby, you know, whether it's racing and so on. And then from there, once things just snowballed, I started getting better at it, and then, you know, one thing led to another. Basically, you know, we first formed a team called Extreme Velocity Racing, and
that was when?
It was back in February of 2004.
Okay.
And that's a long time ago.
3.5 years back.
Yeah, about 3.5 years back. And at that time, you know, I mean, there hasn't really been any racing culture or a professional motorsport environment in Pakistan. But now things are improving and changing, and you'll see that a lot of things are now starting to happen, and awareness is coming in, and people are getting involved. It's still in a very, nascent stage. But we've managed to survive for so long and race internationally, our team. And now we're working on a few other projects as well. We're going to be possibly organizing events and championships, and also forming Extreme Velocity will not just be a team, it'll become a proper racing club. You know, so
that is where your enterprising skills come in,
right,
actually.
Right.
So apart from that, basically you are a doctor, a physician by profession.
Yes.
So मतलब एक फिर भी आपने मुझे example नहीं detail दी कि why this shift actually. It's a hobby, but
no, the shift.
You finished your.
The shift basically is because it's a passion, and I love doing it. Racing, that is.
Don't tell me you came with this idea because you saw Tokyo Drift or Fast or
No.
Fast or Furious.
That is something which I'm totally against.
Achha, you're totally against street racing.
Totally against it, and not just that, drifting. I think I've been against street racing always. I don't think it's safe, and it's not proper racing, and drifting especially. Drifting is just.
Yeah, I love drifting. अब मेहरान से होती नहीं तो क्या कर सकते हैं?
Drifting is okay. Drifting is fun. Drifting is it's not a sport. It's more of an event, a sort of like an extra thing on the side. Like for example, अगर आप cricket खेल रहे हैं and you have like a competition for hitting sixes, so that's fine. You can do that.
So basically, drifting is hitting sixes in the street racing culture.
Not really. Drifting is just a novelty.
Now I've heard recently that आप Pakistan Motorsport Company के साथ आपने कुछ affiliation करी है, and you're doing some go-karting stuff. Why can't you tell me yourself about it?
No, of course. Now things are moving forward. So I'm also the General Secretary of the Motorsport Association of Pakistan, and we govern and sanction events, and we do everything, organize everything related to motorsports in the country. So recently a new track was built, or has been built on the national highway, Gharo mein.
CNBC covered that as well.
They covered that, Rev Zone Motorsports ke naam se. So I was part of, or I'm part of that, and I've launched the karting championship and all. And uske wo chal rahe hain. Now that the facility is there, so what we're planning is Extreme Velocity Racing will actually go from just a racing team to actually an event promoter and organizer for motorsports, and have some events, and also become a racing club where we have members, and then we have events for those members and things like that. So the way it's done internationally.
But before all of this,
yeah,
you must have done some training, some schooling for this,
right,
and usi wajah se aaj your team is existent,
right,
and that is why the go-karting championship took place. So tell me about how did you do the training, and people tell me it's quite expensive and all that.
It's horribly expensive. Yeah, motorsports is the most expensive sport in the world.
You earn a lot and you spend a lot.
You spend, well, there's a saying that they say that what's the best way to make a small fortune in motorsports? Start with a big one. So,
That's a nice one.
That's a very common saying. But see, the thing is, motorsport isn't like your other sports, like cricket or soccer, things like that, where anybody can just pick up a ball or a bat and get involved. In this, you can have the skills, but you still need a lot of money to move forward. And
apart from being just a talented driver or
Right.
a person who has a passion for driving, you need to have a lot of.
you have, yeah. And the way the money comes in internationally is nobody is like, I mean, racers are not, unless you're some really rich guy or rich, your father's very well off. The way it works is corporate sponsors come into the picture, and they see the potential and the skill, and then they sponsor a driver, and they take them through the levels.
Looks like you went from that same gateway.
I went from the same gateway, but it was a very steep learning curve. Because when we first made our team, it was for a race it was the first time ever a karting race was happening 3 years ago in Pakistan. And so nobody knew, I mean, the entry fee was 100,000 rupees. And we were a bunch of, 4 or 5 students, friends, and it wasn't like we were working and earning money. So we actually got together and we managed to find companies to sponsor our team back then. And that's how I started, and from there, my passion has always been racing personally. So when a certain A1 series, I'm sure you've heard of A1GP, World Cup of Motorsports,
right.
When that came around, though I realized that there's an avenue that now, being a Pakistani, we can go into.
Pakistan is one of the countries that participates in those races.
And without this series is important because it's so high up in the motorsport ladder internationally. It's just 2 levels below Formula 1. And now recently, a very exciting developments happened with it, which is that Ferrari, you're soon going to see Ferrari be involved in A1, as in all the engines in the A1 cars
will be made by Ferrari.
Will be Ferrari engines, and they will in fact be. This will be implemented from the 2008 season next year. But Ferrari has signed up for a 6-year sponsorship deal with A1, and it's going to be called the A1GP World Cup of Motorsports, powered by Ferrari, which means Ferrari is the biggest name in motorsports.
But as far as, okay, you were telling me about that, but as far as your personal and your training is concerned, where did you actually initially start
What
off
I
from?
did was after getting a lot of experience in karting locally and getting some experience internationally by taking my team to Dubai twice, I went to Spain. And the next step actually...
Valencia, right?
I went to Spain in Valencia, and there's a Formula BMW Performance Center there, and I did a 2-day racing course in a Formula BMW car. That is the course. It's the starting level for anybody who wants to get into racing professionally. And after that, I still needed to do the 3-day advanced professional racing course.
Which you did?
Which I did in Bahrain at the Formula 1 circuit. And that was an amazing experience. And I got my International C license, becoming the first local Pakistani to get an International C professional racing license. And
this is how the racer Sayyid Ovais Naqvi came into existence.
That's how.
Okay, so what are your, I mean, apart from this, abhi future mein aapke kya plans are?
Future mein, let me be the first to tell you that November 1st, just today, I've gotten a visa and I'm heading off to Bahrain to take part in the Formula Thunder Arabia race series. The first race is on November 1st and 3rd weekend, and I'm going to be racing there. It's also at the Formula 1 circuit, and so learning experience is great. It's and racing with very professional instructors. There's racers from all over the world taking part in Thunder Arabia. Thunder Arabia is basically a Formula racing series.
So do you plan to go yourself or your team as well?
No, this is just me personally.
For the racing thing?
For the racing thing.
Formula racing.
Yeah, and this is for my personal, to move ahead in my personal motorsport career. What I need to do is, my goal is to get into the A1 team.
Anyways, coming back to the entrepreneurial questions.
Yeah.
I mean, your company, do you have a proper framework and your proprietorship? As you just told me that you're the sole proprietor of extreme velocity racing. So what exactly is this extreme velocity? It's a team, but iski kya apne aisi kya feasibilities kuch kari hui anything?
Basically, it started off as a racing team. And the way racing teams work is there's two ways that they generate income, or maybe you could say three ways, which is through sponsorships, sports marketing, through media rights, and because it's a racing team and it's motorsport, so it's not like other sports where the person comes in. If you wanted to be part of the team, there would be a certain cost that anybody would have to, give to the team, pay to the team, in order for them to then let them race with them and give them those opportunities. So the way we've done it is, so far, we've looked more at the corporate side of it, to get sponsorships, to make it very
obviously you can't always
sponsors.
spend from your own pocket.
Obviously, right. But Abhi, it's still again in the infancy. So it's, now the name is getting out and people understand the sport and the activities related, and there's a lot of value for money in this, because it's exciting, it's thrilling.
But other than that, it's exciting, thrilling, amazing stuff, overwhelming. But when investment comes in, मेरे ज़हन में एक और चीज़ आती है, और एक चीज़ मेरे सामने भी रखी हुई है. This is your helmet, I guess.
This is my helmet.
Can you show it to the audience?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is a racing helmet. It's my helmet that I'm using currently.
In the motorsport thing.
In karting right now.
In karting,
because this is not actually an approved helmet for Formula racing. Formula racing helmets need to have something called on the sides. They have to be hands enabled, which is head and neck support. You have this thing that attaches to the helmet and supports your neck.
So do you have that, or?
I have to buy a lot of my racing gear, which is very expensive. A complete racing gear, which is fireproof and acceptable for international events, will cost me about $3,000 to $5,000, depending on.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Well, you'll be spending that eventually.
So you will be. Hopefully, eventually, when you're earning, but you do have to make that. That's an investment that you have to make sooner or later.
But currently, it's on more on the.
Currently, look, I'm
on the go-karting side,
well,
so that
no,
you can make future drivers.
See, the thing is actually, yes, for our team, we have all the equipment. We have 4 sets of racing suits. I think 30 pairs in all. We have 7 helmets. We have gloves, we have all the equipment we need for local events and racing.
And this is a part of that.
This is a part of that.
We have another thing over here, this Red Bull bottle.
Yes, Red Bull. This is a Red Bull water bottle, the liquid bottle. And I just want to mention that these guys, Red Bull is a huge name in the international motorsport community. 2 teams in Formula 1, they're everywhere. They have very generously, very kindly sponsored me, and to be the first Pakistani to be sponsored.
So at least they're supporting people.
They are supporting people. They've been very, very supportive and encouraging, and they want me to go ahead, and they're like, if you can move up and do this on your own, and then there's no limit to where we can take you, but obviously I have to then also perform. So Red Bull, and it's an honor to have a name like this there. But I'm still short of funds, obviously, because as you just saw, the budgets are huge in racing. And what I'm trying to do is do everything as economically as possible, which is, minimum races.
So that you make a success out of whatever you do in the end.
Basically. And that's why I'm going to Bahrain to take part in the Thunder Arabia series and also in the Formula BMW series, which is a step above the Thunder Arabia. Basically, when I do these races,
you get the B license.
I get the B license, which makes me eligible to race in A1. And then once I race inshallah in A1, if I can race there, then there's
chance that you can be the next Schumacher or Alfonso at least.
You know what? If I could be 1/10 of any of those guys, then I'd be very, very happy.
Hope for the best, be prepared for the worst.
Basically, see, the thing is, the international guys, they come through a level of support, and experience that it's hard for us to right now at this point get, but hopefully we'll reach there. People like myself are trying to create something new and get there, and then
so at least we have people who are doing on this.
Right.
So with respect to this bottle and the things you have mentioned, so we have actually in Pakistan, we have some hope that people are doing something.
Absolutely.
So, and this might be your message as well to the people, that if they want to, they should, right?
Right.
Anyways, thanks a lot for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And on that note, I would like to end the show. Naqvi Abgul Daud signing off. Allah Hafiz.